Well, Mr. Barber, thank you very much for taking some time to have a conversation with me. And I want to again congratulate you on being our inaugural EMC member emeritus. We are very, very, very grateful to you for all that you have contributed. And as I said earlier, it's not just what you've done, it's how you've done it. There's an awful lot of debate and give and take that goes on in all that we do at RTCA, as you well know. But I think one of the most impressive features that you bring is you are wise enough to know when you have to agree to disagree. And you do it with respect and professionalism. And you are an inspiration for not only all of us here at RTCA, the PMC, but all of our member organizations. And I mean that very sincerely. And I hope you know that you are very much appreciated. And you always have a home here, right? So you're going to give up that, side hustle at Garmin after all these years. So you'll have time to come and visit us. So our home is your home. You are always welcome here. So let's get started. I don't want to take too much more of your time today. So you've obviously been on our program management committee since 2018. So that's a long time. It's a lot of work. Are there any highlights that stand out to you when you walk away? They're indelibly inked.
I don't know that I have highlights that are so much related to a specific document or that type of thing, but it's more general that I appreciate the processes and the hard work that the committees go through to develop a document that when they present it to the PMC, they're trying to do something that has high quality and that would be internationally accepted, and the types of things that they do, and then they bring us some problems on occasion. And so the problems are the things that the PMC is kind of set up to help manage at times. And when they bring us a problem, we sometimes send it back to them and say, you didn't work hard enough on it, or something like that. Could you do this more before we get tackled with it? And the committees are usually, not usually, they are amenable to doing that type of thing. And then, if they still can't solve the problem, they come back to us. And it's been my pleasure to help resolve some of those problems, negotiate the way forward, and to identify the path forward, and to aid them in moving the rest of their work forward. That's probably the highlight, in a general sense. And it's not I can't pick out one particular problem that has been, indelibly inked above any others, but it's more of a general sense of satisfaction that when you are able to help them resolve an issue that they've been unable to resolve themselves, that's something that gives me satisfaction.
So you have done an awful lot as a program management committee member, including leading our integrated integration and coordination committee. So when you think back on the ICC, is there any guidance you have to offer us as we move forward in that role with that committee?
So I don't know that you need to have a dedicated ICC person, but I know that as you think about how to do that job, the management of solving the unsolvable problems or whatever, you need to have somebody that and I don't intend this to brag or anything like that, but you need to have somebody that is willing to listen to other sides, the various viewpoints, and to be able to then ask questions that hopefully get the sides to or the viewpoints to start aligning or to figure out, what is the sticking point, Sometimes the issue looks really big, but it winds up being just one or two words is the real problem. And, you can resolve that fairly easily once you get to the point of understanding what the root cause of the concern is. And so I would suggest that going forward that the people that are tasked with resolving these types of things in the future take that as a mindset that it really is something that you can't dictate a solution. You have to find something that is workable for all the parties that are involved. So
Thank you. So one of the things I learned about you as I was doing my research is that as far back as 2015, you were engaged in discussions, standards about lithium rechargeable batteries. So here we are, almost 10 years later, and I would say there's a lot to learn from the work that was previously done. So our industry right now is at a really unique place in time, right? So we're working on serving all the needs of our long-standing traditional aviation stakeholders while we're embracing this new community of stakeholders with really advanced technologies. Maybe not advanced technologies as a whole, but for our industry, really advanced thinking. So some of the feedback we're getting is that, well, the newer community of users doesn't really recognize the value of these standards. And when they hear standards, they think slow. When we hear standards, we think safe.
Right.
So any thoughts on the pace at which we develop standards and anything we might do differently? And how do we, this is a multi-part question, of course, how do we communicate to the new community of stakeholders the value and the quality that results from all this time?
Yeah, so the lithium battery stuff was quite contentious. The way that the viewpoints within the committee, and especially sometimes the viewpoints of industry versus the authorities, was something that needed to be managed. The authorities have legitimate points about lithium batteries having, you can. It wasn't that long ago I read an article about how many lithium batteries have caused in-flight fires, consumer product kind of batteries causing in-flight fires, which is not something I want to be a part of. As the efforts developed, there was resolution of those kind of issues and agreement that this was a path forward. In come the new entrants with much larger batteries, and really, in my view, the solution that exists today is probably not as workable for those new battery technologies. It results in designs that will be too heavy and not able to be useful in fielded products. So I think there probably does need to be some kind of adjustment to what is the expectation. How do you get to that expectation? It would be very useful to have a standard that defines what that expectation is at this point. It doesn't have to be it has to be prescriptive enough, but still have flexibility for those that have the task of designing these various vehicles that have bigger batteries. So prescriptive enough but flexible enough is a tension when you develop a standard or EFA or EASA or another authority develops an acceptable means of compliance. So getting to the point of actually resolving that tension in a way that is agreeable to the parties is not something that's agreeable to the parties and considered safe enough. That's the key that needs to be resolved. And it's not something that, as I said, lithium batteries have been a contentious issue for quite a while. And Garmin, in its development of its products, has still had, even once the standard was there was still issues with getting things certified with batteries that were often not that large. Like we're talking AA or half AA type of batteries. So I think a big key to this is getting authorities to the point where they agree on what is needed to be safe, and then the industry, being able to agree on, okay, we accept that level of safety is needed, and then to develop a standard that would be useful to meeting that means of compliance. So that's a long way to say it is sometimes a long process because of the different viewpoints and the need to maintain safety. So those are tension. Those are things that
Healthy tension.
Yeah, they're not always in sync with one another, right?
Well said. So pulling the thread a little bit on this new set of aviation stakeholders, when you look at the next 3 to 5 years, where do you think RTCA should focus and invest its resources to best serve our members? And obviously, where safety is the overarching guide.
So I think there's things that will still be problems 3 to 5 years ago that exist today. So you need to be looking at the things today that are these roadblocks for the future, as well as even further down the road, because there's other technologies that are things that people are they're brainstorming them right now, but they need more maturity before they'll be put into play. So some of the things that are still in need of standardization is you have all these UAS and potentially AAM type of vehicles that want to be able to fly in the airspace, but without so many restrictions as a manned flight would have, and so how do you get those things to talk with one another? Well, it's interoperability types of things, right? And RTCA and EuroK and ICAO have done good jobs of standardizing interoperability things for transponders and for WAS and SBAS type of systems, and the ILS signal is standardized, all of those types of things. There needs to be probably more thought into how, and I'm not saying there hasn't been thought, there is thought on how to make all these disparate vehicles talk to one another. But I don't know that there's been, it's more of what I would say at the moment, my view is that it's kind of a free-for-all. We all want to have our own method of talking about where we are in the space and what we're going to do in the space and things like that. And so then you wind up with having to have some ground-based interface system that is able to talk to all these various methods of communicating. And I don't know that works so well, you might get past the original 1, 2, 3 entrants, and if they're all doing something that's different,
Mhm.
how are you going to accept the fourth and the fifth and the ninth? You know, it'd be better if there was effort put up to make some common interoperability communication type of thing. So that's one thing that I see. We already talked about lithium batteries. That I think that will still be a problem 5 years from now. We haven't talked about spectrum yet, but spectrum is a precious resource that RTCA and EuroK are working on identifying, providing guidance to make our aviation systems more efficient. And I don't know that RTCA and EuroK are the right place to say how how you get to opening up further spectrum but they certainly are the right place to make sure that our own systems are doing well as we use the spectrum resource. So, those are some things.
That's great.
I think there's a whole bunch of others, but
So let's go back to the interoperability just for a moment.
Mhm.
Do you see a role for RTCA relative to, I think of it broadly as airspace operations when we're talking about the newer community with the legacy, more traditional stakeholders?
I think there is an opening for that type of thing if RTCA is willing to pursue it. There's, as I said, RTCA and EuroK have done well in other interoperability issues, venues, whatever. So I hope you cut that out, Jane.
It feels like we have a need for leadership relative to the air traffic management side of this integration. So back to your remark that, okay, you have the first three,
Mhm.
they're all different. Then what do you tell the fourth one? It feels like we have a missing dimension of this integration. It's not just about the technology. There's a whole lot to the technology,
Right.
but where is that integration? Where is the leadership?
And I think there is a need for that kind of leadership. If I may use a different example, in Europe they've got multiple authorities working on this conspicuity, and I hope I said that right, where they want the surveillance information to be broadcast, but it's from these different vendors that are not necessarily all talking on the same in the same spectrum with the same messages, other things like that. So there's been an effort to start trying to standardize that type of thing so that like gliders and things like that, they may not need to carry ADS-B out. If they're able to, they would, but they because they're not they don't have power. It's hard for them to do some of those things and to meet the current TSOs and MOPs related to those systems. And so they buy other systems that still broadcast what they're doing, which is, intended to help others, but it helps the other aircraft that already have those same types of systems.
Right.
So it doesn't really help other aircraft that are talking with different things.
Yeah.
So Europe is trying to come up with a standard without going necessarily through a standards organization, or if they are, I'm not aware of the standards organization. But that type of thing would be, I think, beneficial for these various AAM and UAS type of things to be able to broadcast their intentions, broadcast their current positions, to be able to then have maybe one less link Well,
Mhm.
maybe down to one link for those types of systems and another link for the manned systems
Mhm.
that can then, it's not such a hard job to then
Mhm.
integrate the two systems.
Mhm.
Just my
Very
thoughts on that.
thought-provoking. Okay, so now, I think you're counting the weeks until you are retired.
Mhm.
So what does day one of retirement look like for you?
Day one of retirement,
Day one.
is this after my 35th anniversary at Garmin or the day of my 35th anniversary?
The day. Let's
Okay.
do the day.
So Garmin has afforded me the opportunity to use the auditorium to uh, celebrate my 35th,
Distinguished career.
yeah, my 35th anniversary, which is and I've asked for the opportunity to say something during that, and to me, that's something that I want to leave others with some wisdom, if you will, garnered over the years, but also to uh, give a message that I hope tells them that I have had a very big um, opportunity in my life to be associated with a company that has made a difference. Sorry, I'm getting a little emotional here. In the aviation products that we've been able to market and to provide some uh, technologies and capabilities and get them certified that include things like the emergency auto land and the first certified WAS system that allowed people to land with LPV approaches and things like that. Those are things that to me are innovations and firsts that other people may not have those kind of opportunities, but maybe they've got other opportunities, and to tell them to continue to innovate. And I would say the same thing to RTCA is you are a wonderful manager of standards, and I would encourage you to continue to make a difference in the way that aviation is affected for the better. So, that's day one. Day two, I might sit around and not do anything.
Well, thank you for taking the time to talk, and we are so privileged to have had you in our corner. And that's RTCA, all of our member organizations. You truly are an inspiration, Clay, and I wish you every happiness in retirement. But as I said, come back and see us.
Well, being the first PMC emerita,
Yes.
I think allows me that opportunity. And
Yes, it does. So see,
will appreciate
you are
will
very
appreciate
familiar with all these firsts. That's
yes,
what I thought of when you were talking about like the Autoland. I thought he gets firsts all the time. It's wonderful that you are our inaugural PMC member emeritus. So we do hope that you look at the plaque and have lots of really happy memories and know that you've really made a difference.
yeah, I greatly appreciate the honor, and I've enjoyed my time with RTCA, and I do appreciate all of the people here at RTCA and the opportunities to be a part of this organization as a volunteer.
Thank you.